to be reading something today. It's a piece that I wrote in response to Eve Ensler's Vagina Monologues, but written from the perspective of a Malaysian Indian woman. The piece is called A Rose by Any Other Name, and I'm dedicating this to my mom because she pretty much inspired the whole piece. A few years ago, I had a sort of an awakening. I discovered that the Tamil word that I used to refer to my vagina, the word I'd been using my whole life, was actually the wrong word. This word, which up till then I always assumed meant that area between my legs, apparently actually refers to my buttocks. Now, I have to say, this really threw me because I felt like I was simultaneously betraying my heritage as well as my nether regions. And despite all of my attempts to unearth the right term for vagina in Tamil, I've yet to find a word that I feel comfortable using in everyday speech. Because each option I came across was either much too vulgar or much too formal. I sometimes just want to refer to my vagina or say something about my vagina without sounding either like a street thug or like an anatomy professor. So yes, I'm rather embarrassed to say that I still don't know what a functional word for vagina is in Tamil. Now, how did this mix-up happen in the first place? I'm actually not sure. So I mentioned my mother, right? So she was born in Malaysia. She's brought up here, like me. Her mother was from Kerala in India. She moved to Malaysia after getting married. So the Tamil that they spoke arrived in Malaysia by way of Kerala with a healthy sprinkling of Malayalam. Now, this doesn't actually explain anything because as far as I can tell, both Tamil and Malayalam use this word that I'm talking about to refer to the bum. So my mother was most likely the one who taught me this word, right? And she still uses it. She insists that that's what she was taught. So I could possibly be perpetuating a long line of mistakenly termed vaginas. And truth be told, it's really probably too late for me. I can't think of my vagina in any other terms, especially not in Indian languages. That word is too entrenched in my mind. You may ask, surely someone corrected you along the way. And yes, my late 20s is probably quite a late period of time to come to this realization. But think about this. I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've even discussed my vagina with people, someone who's not a doctor, and let alone speaking about it in Tamil. So, when it comes up in conversation, I'm much more likely to use the many, let's say, vague euphemisms that this body part seems to give birth to. That's not to say that I don't hear the vagina named, referred to, and described in countless ways almost daily. Anyone who went to primary school here in Malaysia, or at least during my time, you'd remember the term coffee shop, right? It's almost a requirement that if someone is sitting with their legs open, especially if they're showing you their underpants, you have to say, "Close your coffee shop." Now, I have no idea what the connection is between coffee shops and a perceived lack of modesty for girls, but hey, it's what we used to say. As we grew older, and presumably learned to keep our legs closed, the references grew even more vague. So down there is pretty common, private parts is used a lot as well. Neither of these, as you can tell, are really very useful when it comes to talking about specifics. My favorite euphemism, though, came to me from my best friend's mother. She called it a rambutan. And I suppose as far as descriptions go, it's really not a bad one, right? Reddish, covered in wiry hair. It did put me off rambutans for a while, but only until I realized different people just like different kinds of fruits. So, this disproportionate sense of coyness, of shyness, is not really because we don't have enough words to refer to the vagina. One of the many advantages of growing up in Malaysia is that you may not speak each other's languages, but you can bet you know each other's curse words. And apparently, nothing makes quite a good curse word like the good old vagina. They are the purists. They just prefer to get directly to the point. In this case, the word vagina itself becomes the curse word. To my knowledge, there are variations of this in Tamil, in Malay, in Cantonese, in Hokkien, and probably in many other languages as well. And then there are the insults that get a little bit more personal, let's say. So, mother's vagina is, of course, a very popular one. Malay has one, Cantonese has one. Although, why this should be insulting, I'm really not quite sure. Is it shocking that a person's mother might have a vagina? As a good son or daughter, are you supposed to not acknowledge that part of your mother's anatomy? Or is it that no one else should refer to your mother's vagina? On a related note, a Tamil swear word that literally translates as son of a vagina. Is this news to the person on the receiving end? Did they not know that they were birthed from a one? Or did they think the rest of the world doesn't know that they came from a vagina? So maybe that's why some swear words prefer to be more specific. They prefer to qualify the condition of the vagina itself. So being smelly is, apparently one of the biggest sins that a vagina can commit. Hokkien, Cantonese, Malay, they all use this as an insult. And if you're feeling particularly pissed, you can opt for mother smelly vagina because apparently that's where it really hurts, right? And then there are those who get quite creative with it, such as this Tamil swear word that I've always loved. It basically means pubic hair. I mean, what's so offensive about pubic hair in the first place? Is it the fact that it's proximity to the genitals? Or is it the very fact that it exists? Why is pubic hair a valid curse word and not, nose hair? More important than these questions, though, is the one that doesn't get asked nearly enough. Why is it so difficult to talk about the vagina? And by extension, all of the things that are represented by and related to it. We lower our voices. We couch it in mysterious language. We create this artificial wall of either sacredness or vulgarity around it. And so when it comes time for a female to climb that wall, to talk about her body, to talk about sex, to talk about gender, even that very first step becomes such a struggle. So, does it matter that I don't know what my vagina is called in Tamil? Maybe. If anyone knows the answer, I'd be happy to hear it. But really, I'd settle for the vagina being talked about at all in any language. Thank you.